He's so confusing. I don't get. Do you understand the words, I want a divorce? Do you understand those words? Does that make sense to you? Is that clear enough to you? He doesn't want to be married. He doesn't want to see your face every day. Hi, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another review of Married at First Sight Houston Reunion Part 1. Now, I had no intentions whatsoever of watching this reunion and let alone doing a review because I've been kind of burnt out over Married at First Sight. But I decided to go ahead and give it a gander. And I wasn't even going to take any notes or anything. I was just going to watch it and just kind of like give my thoughts on the more entertaining parts of the review. But after Marla and Gill came on, I had to grab my notebook. But let's start off with Rachel and Jose. So Rachel and Jose, they ran into a couple of roadblocks after decision day. They did move in together, but then they had an issue. Whenever they moved in together, Rachel, I guess, took her sweet time in unpacking, and there were boxes everywhere in the house, and this really got on Jose's nerves. And I guess he expressed how irritated he was about her boxes being all over the place because Jose likes to have a clean, open, neat space. And because she wasn't moving fast enough for him, this caused some type of an argument or disagreement or something. And also Rachel said that they had gotten too comfortable. And when they moved in together, it was like that emotional connection just wasn't there anymore for them. And it had deteriorated a bit. So that, coupled with the boxes that she wasn't moving or that she wasn't unpacking, she ended up moving out. And she went to go stay with her. No, she ended up moving out, and she was gone for about 3 or 4 weeks. Then it seemed like she is still, they're still not living together. That she's still with her mom because Jose said that he wants her to come back home. And they both said that they were willing to work out the relationship, to work it out in terms of making their marriage work. So they seem like they want the marriage to get back on track. So I guess they're going to work on it. But they did run into a couple of hiccups after decision day. They're still married, but not living together right now, and evidently working on getting back together. Ryan and Brett. Okay. This is something that I feel like, anyways, let's just move on. Ryan and Brett. So they're still broken up. Shocker. They say that there's no bad blood between them. They really don't talk that often. I think that Brett was just a little bit too. I did see some potential between Ryan and Brett. I think that they were both, I don't know. I was gonna say, Ryan, whenever he would communicate, whenever he would talk, I felt like, he was a little bit intellectual. He wasn't a complete idiot. Brett certainly was, she was intellectual. She seemed like she was cultured. She was very open-minded. I think that Ryan missed out on a really good woman because he was so focused on the physical, on the outside. I think he missed out on a really good woman. But anyway, so they're not together. They're okay with that. And they didn't see it for each other from very, very early on. Even Brett said that it was like a very long breakup, like an 8-week, 7-week breakup, because they realized early on that it wasn't going to work out. And Ryan said that he wished that he would have communicated more. But they both agreed that even if things were different, even if they did all the right things, they still would have ended up divorcing. They still would have ended up not together. So that's Ryan and Brett. Now, Ryan's sister did come out and she did spill a little bit of tea. There was a scene during the season where Brett and the sister, I think her name was Alexa, when they were having a conversation, and the sister had said something about how maybe the reason why things are not working out after the honeymoon is because being back in Houston and being back in this environment is triggering some memories for Ryan about an ex. And then we also saw how Brett had to confront Ryan about him getting on a dating website while they were still married. But come to find out, Alexa said that Brett herself was supposedly seeing someone while she was still married to Ryan. That she had met someone and was communicating with this individual during her marriage. Now, Brett denied it. She says, yes, I did meet someone, and it basically didn't go any further than us exchanging phone numbers. But nothing was developing. We were not communicating. And she said that she really didn't communicate with this person until after decision day. Well, Alexa and Ryan both disagreed with that. Ryan said that he was watching things unfolding while they were still married, and that it was confirmed and it was validated by other sources. And I have a feeling the other sources were possibly other castmates. So he said that it was validated by other sources that Brett was communicating with another individual while she was living with and still being married to Ryan. But it really does. The only thing is, I think Alexa brought this up because she didn't, maybe she was trying to like defend her brother. You know, she didn't want her brother to look like the only jerk in this relationship, you know, because after Brett confronted Ryan about the dating website, the dating app on his phone, and him being matched with one of her friends, you know, I guess the sister was like, but you were talking to someone else too, though, you know, for at some point in the marriage you were talking to someone else. So it seemed kind of hypocritical on Brett's part to get on Ryan's case about the dating app when she was communicating with someone else as well. So, you know, and Ryan obviously wanted to also defend himself and come out and like, you know, I wasn't the only one, you know, being a jerk out here. But Brett denied it. She says, I wasn't talking to this person while we were still married. It only happened after decision day, and now it's over. So they're both still single, and it was good for them to separate. It was good for them to get a divorce. They were not really a good match. It would have been a really dead, flat, boring type of marriage if they stayed together. And I just kind of think that Brett just wasn't as slick as she thought she was. I think Brett probably was communicating with someone else. And I think that Brett thought that maybe she was kind of getting away with it, that she was being really low-key undercover, keeping everything really hidden. But she really probably wasn't. I think she kind of was talking to someone else. But it doesn't really matter because they don't want to be with each other anyway. They're divorced. They've moved on separately, doing their own thing. Marla and Gill. Lord have mercy. My God. Marla and Gill. Okay, so on decision day, I thought that they were on the right path. I thought these two were really adorable together. I liked how Gill would hold Marla to the fire with her tantrums and with, you know, her not with her spending. I felt like he should have left the spending stuff alone because it was her money. She could do whatever she wants because it seemed like she was managing her money well. She was spending, she was saving, she was working hard. She could do whatever the hell she wanted to do with her money. But as far as her tantrums and her negative Nancy attitude, I was okay with Gil holding her to the fire for that because it was ruining, you know, his good time because she was always so miserable. So I really thought that they were on the path to, you know, marital bliss. But let's see what happened. First of all, Gil comes out in some red bottoms. Okay, that was a shocker because, no, not really. To tell you the truth, no, it wasn't a shocker. When he came out, you know, looking really nice, really spiffy, wearing the red bottoms, I was like, yeah, of course, you know, you can't be with Marla and not be upgraded. She's not going to allow anyone to be next to her who's not going to be on the same level as her, fashion-wise. So then we find out that, okay, so then they talk about how Gil was always like, you know, poking fun at her, you know, throwing jabs at her for being really high maintenance, calling her a diva. And she said that she didn't like it and that she would tell him during the show, that she would tell him that she didn't like it, that she didn't agree with him, that she was this diva. And Marla said that no man that I've ever dated has ever referred to me as a diva or as high maintenance. You're the only one that's ever referred to me as that. And Gil said, well, of course not, because the men that you dated before me were divas and they were high maintenance. They were just like you. You were dating yourself. You were dating men who were really high maintenance. So they're not going to call themselves high maintenance because that's what y'all had in common. So of course they wouldn't call you that because they were the same thing. And Marla said that she would just agree to disagree on that. And then they talked about how he had worked really hard to get, you know, close to her, like physically close to her, emotionally close to her, how he, you know, he tried so hard, which he did. And Kevin asked him, was it all worth it? And he didn't really, it took a long time for him to answer. Let me just tell you this. When Gil first came on stage, I felt like there was something wrong. There was something in his face and his eyes that kind of told me that he's not really happy. I thought he just wasn't happy with the marriage, right? And so then when Kevin asked him, you worked your butt off, trying to be affectionate with her, being physically closer to her. Did you feel like it was worth it? And then he took a long time to answer. Like, he took a really deep breath and he paused and he was thinking about his answer. Then I was like, oh, for sure, something is not right here. They're disconnecting somewhere. And he kind of shrugged his shoulders and he gave some kind of roundabout answer that really didn't answer the question. And then they did move in together after decision day. But they hadn't been together. But Gil said they hadn't been together since decision day. So that was kind of conflicting. They moved in together, but they hadn't been together since then. Maybe he was talking like intimately. I don't know. So 14 days after decision day, Marla decided that she didn't want to be with him anymore. And so the host asked her, why? What happened? Because there were no clues. Honey, there were no clues whatsoever that Marla was not happy with Gil other than him not making enough money for her. There were no clues. She acted like she says she was attracted to him. She talked about how good looking he was. She told that whole scene where she and Dr. Pepper were talking one-on-one. It was the episode where all the couples individually were talking with Pastor Cal or Dr. Pepper one-on-one when they were kind of like hashing out some things before decision day. Marla was crying and talking about how Gil was a godsend to her, how she had envisioned this husband her whole life. She had this vision of what her husband would be. But then the experts gave her someone that was like above and beyond all of that. I mean, she acted as if he was sent from heaven just for her. He was tailor-made just for her. She was crying and sniffling and, that real ugly cry. Like, she just couldn't believe how blessed she was to have this man in her life. And now she comes on this stage on reunion day talking about, oh, we were so different. And, there were some issues with financial stability. And there wasn't initial chemistry and initial attraction. Oh, no. There wasn't any. She says from the beginning, there was no chemistry, no attraction, and there was no fire. And that she just really wasn't happy with him. And I'm like, what? What? And then we also found out on decision day that, that they were intimate. Okay, so y'all consummated your marriage. You're crying about how happy you were to have found this man. This man was like, you acted like he was just everything to you and more, that he was exactly what you needed. And now she's saying that, yeah, I never had any feelings for him. I really wasn't attracted to him. Yeah, it was better for us, for us to not be together. And she said that she was doing him a favor because she had wanted to move out first. But then he said no, he was going to be the one to move out. And by the way, side note, when they moved in together, he said that he sold everything. He sold everything to be with this woman. He sold everything except for his clothes, his blender, and his dog. But everything else he sold, I guess, so he can have money for her. And okay, and so then she said, what else did she say? That I was just like, I'm speechless right now, y'all. I'm like so I don't even know like what to say or how to say it. I'm just completely blown away. And then the fact that when she was sitting there next to him, she was so very like calm, cavalier, unemotional. And you know what? Side note also, I think that when they were intimate, I don't think that either one of them was like satisfied. I don't think so. I don't think she probably didn't feel anything for him because he's not rich enough for her. So that was an automatic turn off for her. I think that was the real turn off. I think the only thing that can turn Marla on is money. A man who has lots and lots and lots and lots of money. Oh, and also, and I don't think that he was satisfied because she was so turned off by him because I don't think this really was her type because of the money situation. I think she was automatically turned off by him. And because of that, she couldn't, I don't think that in that area of their relationship, the intimacy, I don't think it was really there for either one of them. And then he probably, she wasn't satisfied with her because she really wasn't putting her all in it, because she really wasn't attracted to him because of the fact that he wasn't rich enough for her. Also, he said on the reunion, he said that when they were talking about money, he says, you know what, I actually make $100 more every 2 weeks than you do. And I'm like, what? What's $100 more? Marla wants you to make hundreds of thousands of dollars more than her, not just $100 more every 2 weeks. I thought he was gonna say he was making $100 more an hour, $100 more a day, or something like that. But he says I make $100 more every 2 weeks than you do. Gil, that's pennies. She don't care about that. She wants you to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. That's what she wants, not $100 more. Get out of here with that, Gil. Okay, so then they said that they stayed together for a month. Then Gil moved out. Okay, we talked about that. And Marla said that she did what was best for Gil by breaking up with him. She said it wasn't healthy for him to be around her and that he deserves to be with someone who really wants to be with him. And also she said that Gil was insecure. And he looked at her. I mean, he almost had whiplash the way he turned his head so fast. He looked at her like, what? Me insecure? And she says, yeah, you feel like, I think she was trying to say that you don't make enough money for me. And that makes you feel insecure. And he was trying to tell her, no, that's not it at all. And she said something about you're projecting your his insecurity, you're projecting that on me. And then they cut that short. They didn't go any further with that conversation at all, because I think it was about to get real deep and real dark. So neither one of them wanted to go any further with that. And then she said that she was never in love with him. She said she was never in love with this man. And then she said she didn't love him. Gil said that he is still in love with Marla. He's not over the breakup. He said that he is in therapy trying to deal with this breakup with Marla. He said that he never, ever, ever had an issue with a girl rejecting him. He says in the past, if a girl didn't want to be with him, he'd be cool with it. He'd move on to the next. But with Marla, and then Kevin said, yeah, because this was your wife. This wasn't just, some girl or a girlfriend or a temporary thing. This was your wife. You were expected to have a life with her, to commit to her for the rest of your life. So this hits a little bit differently. And so he was like, yeah, I'm not over this. He says he was in therapy. He said that he hasn't even begun to heal yet. And then Kevin asked him, would you go back to Marla? And he said that his heart, he would jump back in a second. But his mind, he says that he would have to be very, very cautious if he were to go back with her. Yes. Yeah. And then, he's like brokenhearted. I feel like this man was on the verge of tears. I think there were like tears building up in his eyes because he's just not over it. And then to see her there like that, looking as good as she was looking, I think this man was like devastated, absolutely, completely heartbroken and devastated, hasn't even begun putting back the pieces to his life together. And Marla is just sitting there next to him, very nonchalant, very casual. And she's like, yeah, I've moved on. Yeah, I've moved on. And Kevin asked, are you seeing someone? And she says, no, but eventually I'll start dating again. And I was like, oh my God, just continue to twist that knife deeper into his heart. Why don't you, Marla? And I was just so shocked, like how he could barely keep it together. And she's just so calmly, and she's like very happy with her decision of breaking up with him, and she's perfectly okay with it. And, she has no issue with it whatsoever. She's just like, yeah, it was better for us just not to be, I didn't love him. No, I didn't feel any attraction for him. No. And I did him a favor by leaving him. But bottom line, I think that she left him because financially, it was not it. It was not it for him, for her at all. She needs a man with real money, someone who can like buy a yacht, who could take her to spend 6 months or whatever in Dubai. That's how she acts. She acts like that's what she needs. And I always felt like, could she really be happy with a guy who has like a regular job? He has a very reputable job. I know that firefighters get paid very well because their job is so risky. Their pension is very good. So for any other woman, Gil is a major, major, major catch. He seems so caring, so loving, so loyal. Marla, what are you doing, girl? Whatever you've been doing before Gil wasn't working. That's why you were on this show. Now, maybe, I don't know if she's trying to like get exposure, so maybe a millionaire can snatch her up now that she's been on this TV show. I don't know, but I don't understand. I need to know what really went down with Marla, because I don't buy that, oh yeah, I just know I wasn't attracted to him. I think she was. I think she was attracted to him. She did have feelings for him until something happened. Something better came along. I really do think that something better came along for Marla, and she was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go over there with that one. Even though she claims that she's not dating, that she's not seeing anybody, it has to be a richer man must have come along, because this doesn't make any sense, because on the show, she seems like she deserves an Academy freaking award for pulling the wool over my damn eyes, because I was really trying to find the cracks in their relationship, and I really couldn't. I thought these people were made for each other. They looked so good together. It seemed like they I'm just flabbergasted. Anyways, moving on to the next segment. So then all the guys come out, all the husbands come out. This was like a little unnecessary throwaway scene. It was so unnecessary. Like, who cares? They talked about excuse me. They show clips of Marla, Marla being her negative Nancy self, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to try anything, not wanting to go anywhere. And then when I saw those clips that they were showing, I was like, well, maybe it's because she didn't want to do anything because she just wasn't that into. I don't know what was going on with Marla. At one minute I'm thinking, that woman acted like she really liked that man. But then it's like, oh, okay, she didn't. When the experts gave them the intimacy exercises, she didn't want to do body shots. She didn't want to put the blindfold on. She didn't want to do anything that would help their intimacy. Now I'm thinking maybe because she really wasn't. But if she wasn't attracted to him, why would she sleep with him? She ended up sleeping with him anyway. I think when she slept with him, she was like, no, I can't do this. So anyways, moving on. So okay, so the guys all admitted they were shocked when Marla and Gill broke up because, they had everybody fooled. Gill said that now he does have an insecurity about rejection. Now he does feel some kind of way if a woman rejects him because of what Marla did to him. Zach was surprised that Jose and Rachel came back together again. He wasn't surprised that they broke up, but he was surprised that they came back together again. And then Johnny had a hand in Jose and Rachel getting back together because Johnny is really close friends with both of them. And whenever he would hang out with Rachel, he would, she would drop hints of what she wanted Jose to do to kind of improve the relationship. And then Johnny would relay those hints, real low key to Jose to better his relationship with Rachel. So, in that aspect, I'm surprised how much work Johnny put in for Jose and Rachel to reconcile, but he wouldn't put in any work for him and Bao. And then they showed some clips of Johnny and Jose's bromance, all the clips of them, of them together, and it was really funny. That made me laugh. Okay, moving on to the doom and gloom of it all. Next, we have Michaela. So Michaela did not want to sit next to Zach at all. She wanted to do her segment by herself solo. She said that she didn't want to share the stage with him because she wanted to protect her energy and she wanted to be able to get all of her words out and didn't need Zach constantly interrupting her. So they show clips of their wedding day, and she said that the wedding day was absolutely one of the best days of her life. She looked so beautiful on her wedding day. Her skin was so glowing. I mean, she just looked so lovely on her wedding day. So Michaela felt that it was it for Zach that the day that she moved out, the first time that she moved out, which was the only time. He moved out a couple of times, but that was the only time that she moved out. That very first time. So she woke up that morning and he was not in the home. I think he went to go walk the dog. And because he didn't tell her that he was stepping out, she got mad and packed her bags and left. And she said that since then, that was kind of it for Zach. She could never she could not redeem herself after that. No matter what she did, no matter how hard she tried, after that day, Zach was done. So she said that, Kevin, the host, said, well, Zach had a lot of issues with your outburst and all of that. What issues did you have with Zach? And she said that her issue with Zach was that he had no forgiveness and he had no grace, no mercy at all. It was like when he's done, he's done. And there's no coming back from that. He's not willing to, look at you in any other way other than whatever you did that made him mad. So she says, his lack of forgiveness and his lack of grace is the issues that I have with him. Kevin asked about, well, let's bring Zach out. Let's bring him back out. Y'all are two mature adults. We can have a very adult conversation. Let's try to bring him back out. And she was like, absolutely, nope, nope, nope. And in the back room, Zach is watching her segment, watching, her interview or whatever it is, and he's just like chomping at the bit. He's just like getting antsy, and he's like, I want to go after, I want to defend myself, and he was like going crazy back there. So then Michaela says that she doesn't want him to come sit next to her at all, so she shut that down. Her sister did come out, Sharifa, and Sharifa said that the way she feels now about Zach, she feels very indifferent towards him. I thought she was going to say that she, didn't like him or that she hated him for how he treated her sister, but she said that she feels just indifferent towards him. She also said that they both want to be right and that they both were very, very stubborn. Yeah, they're very toxic for each other because they're a lot alike as far as like their temper and yes, the need to be right, and they're very toxic for each other. So then Michaela believes that Zach was playing with her emotions, but you allowed yourself to be played by him, Michaela. So after decision day, before that, there was something going on with the 1 month anniversary. I don't remember. I totally missed this, but she said on their 1 month anniversary, because Kevin asked her something about the 1 month anniversary. I don't remember if this was like after the couples retreat and that's why the 1 month anniversary was such a big deal. But she said on the 1 month anniversary, they were intimate, but Zach told her to not reveal that on the show. He didn't want anyone to know. He wanted her to keep it a secret. And I was like, I'm not understanding why. Was it because it was after the retreat and he seemed like he was so done with her that it would have been like confusing or wouldn't have made any sense of why he would want to be intimate. I didn't get that whole 1 month anniversary thing. So after decision day, after he said he wanted a divorce, I remember on that particular scene, when they got up and left, they were going to the elevators, and then he asked her if she wanted to get something to eat, and she said yes. And I'm like, okay, Michaela, do you not understand what's going on here? He just told you he doesn't want to stay married to you. He wants a divorce. Now he's asking you, can y'all grab something to eat? Do you not understand the signs of what's going on here? He wants to hit it. But he doesn't want to be married to you. And he told the whole world he wants a divorce from you. And you're just like, oh yeah, we can get something to eat. Why, Michaela? Okay, so anyways, moving on. Whew, Lord, Michaela. So she said that after decision day, she went over to stay with him for 7 whole days, Toni Braxton. And that the whole time that she was staying with him, she was cooking, cleaning, and they were sharing a bed. Why? Michaela, why? This man said he wants to divorce you. This man acts like you're crazy, you're a lunatic. But then I don't know how you ended up at his house to begin with, and then to stay with him for 7 days. So after the 7 days, after he had, used her for her housemaid skills, used her for her bedroom skills, when he was done with her, he wanted her to leave. And then she made it a point to say that she was staying with him for those 7 days upon his invitation. He invited me to be there. So when she said that, when she felt like she had to make a point by saying that he invited me there, it makes me think that at some point before the 7 days were up, he probably had wanted her to go. He wanted her to leave. And she was probably telling him, but why? You invited me here. Why do you want me to leave? You invited me here. So anyway, so she stayed there for 7 days, cooking and cleaning and sexing him up. And then after that, he wanted her to leave. And then after he wanted her to leave, because he told her that she was mooching off of him and that she was encroaching in his area, and that so he wanted her to go. Then after that, she had the audacity to say that she asked him if they can still continue on with their friendship. And Zach had said yes. And then Michaela says, she tells Kevin that she believes that she was played. This is like so bizarre, so confusing, so insane, so dysfunctional. And it's on a whole nother level of toxicity. Okay, so he tells you, I want a divorce. But according to Zach, they had an agreement that after decision day that they would still see each other, that they would be working towards dating or working towards some type of a more casual relationship, that he can't really do this under the confinement of marriage, but that he wants to see where it would go, you know, without this pressure of marriage and without the cameras and all of that. So, Michaela, have you ever heard of anybody being on this show get a divorce, then start dating, and then get remarried? No, that's never happened. So if he doesn't want to be with you, if he doesn't want to be married to you, where do you think this dating is going to lead to? Do you think it's going to lead to him changing his mind about being married to you? And you were hoping and praying that, okay, yeah, we'll continue to see each other because hopefully we'll start dating again, or maybe we'll move in together. Like, I'm not understanding what you were expecting. And if she keeps on talking about how Zach is so confusing with what he wants. Okay, if he's so confusing about what he wants, then leave him alone. Then leave him. If he doesn't know what he wants, if he's double talking and he's saying this or then saying that, but he's saying this but doing that, then leave him alone. If he's like, then just go, leave him alone. What do you expect to gain out of being around him, continuing to talk to him, continuing to bring this man back into your life? So you believe that he played with your emotions, and you believe that he played you. You got played by him. But Michaela, you allowed that to happen because you had no business talking to him at all after decision day. How are you going to spend time with someone who said they wanted to divorce you? I'm so confused about Michaela. I think Michaela felt like that sexual energy is strong between them. And I think that she probably believed that she could use that to change his mind and convince him that they need to be together, that they should be together. I think that she was thinking, well, as long as we're still hooking up like this, I'm going to work on him so that we can eventually, you know, get back together again as a couple, as a romantic couple. I think she thought that that's where the sex would lead to. And that's why she was willing to give it up so easily to him after he rejected her. And I think that every time that they were intimate with each other, I think she kept on taking it up to a whole nother level, like completely blowing his mind, you know, doing things that he probably had never experienced, never heard of before, blew this man's mind in the bedroom. And she thought that that was going to convince him to stick it out with her, to be with her, to be in a relationship with her. But that's all he wanted from her, was that and nothing more. And that she was just too thick to realize that. Because if he really saw something in you, Michaela, like if he really saw you for the woman that you were, the whole woman that you were, not just what was in between your legs, if he really saw you for the true woman that you were, and if he liked it, then he would have stayed married to you. Anyways, her segment is over. Then we have Zach. Zach comes out. He said he became very nervous about the marriage when she first moved out. We talked about that because he felt like, you know, this is some unstable, she's really unstable. When he left the retreat, Zach said that he was so happy when he left. He felt so happy, so relieved when he left the retreat. He said this was a very unique experience that he would never want to go through again. Kevin asked him, what would you have done differently? And he said he would have left. He would have left and not come back. That's what he would have done differently. Michaela, this man that you keep running back to, that you keep begging for his attention, you keep begging for him to look your way, you keep begging for him to see you, to pick you. This man is saying that he wished he would have left you sooner. This man is saying that this is something he would never want to go through again. This man is saying that this is the worst relationship that he's been in, romantically, friendship-wise, work-wise, everything. This man that you continue to run back to. You cook for him? You clean for this man, Michaela? Now, it would make sense if you were using him as well. If you needed your, you needed your back broke too, and you're like, okay, we got it going on in that area, and I'm not really, done with him in that area. So that part can continue, like the whole friends with benefits. I get it. But then you kind of act like you want more than that. Like you actually want a relationship with this man. And you're waiting for him to like wake up and realize that you're the woman of his dreams. Nobody really understands. To me, okay, people act like they don't understand what Zach is saying. Like he's double talking, he's confusing, he's contradicting himself, his words are conflicting. I understand exactly what Zach is saying because I'm reading in between the lines, and that's what you got to do with Zach. I understand exactly what he's saying. He's basically saying that he's going to do and say whatever it takes to keep hitting that. But that's all he really wants from her. He doesn't want to, because he said, I want a divorce. I mean, how much more okay, Michaela, you say that he doesn't, you don't understand what he's saying, and he's back and forth, and he says he doesn't want to be with me, but then he's with me, and I don't understand, and he's so confusing, I don't get. Do you understand the words, I want a divorce? Do you understand those words? Does that make sense to you? Is that clear enough to you? He doesn't want to be married. He doesn't want to see your face every day. He doesn't want to be in your presence every day. A man that loves you, that's in love with you, that sees the future with you, like Gill saw in Marla. And up until today, Gill will go back to Marla. He wants to be in your presence every day. He wants to be next to you. He wants to hear your voice, feel your touch every day, like the way Gill is with Marla. Even after Marla told that man, I don't want to be with you, Gill still wants to be with her. He's not over her yet. He still wants to be in her presence. So when Michaela was hearing all of this in the back room, she got upset. Oh my God, I got to get out there. I got to go out there. Okay, so then why? Why you got to go out there? Why do you want to? Now you want to be in his presence. Now, once again, you want to be around him when he doesn't want to be around you. So she wants to come up there and storm the stage and be, so she can like give her side of the story or rebut whatever points he's making. Okay, so you want him to pick you again. You want to be in his presence again. You want to be around him again. You think you have what it takes to keep him, but you don't. He just doesn't want to be with you. He just wants to hit it. Y'all got it going on, probably physically, and that's it. And that's it, but that's not going to sustain a damn thing. I'm just like, how can a woman put herself through this on national TV? Allow herself to be used like this and to let it be known that he's using you like this on national TV. Like, how does that happen? But anyways, that's Michaela and Zach, and that is definitely my review. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know. I really do appreciate you if you can spend this as much time as you are spending with me. If you did make it this far, thank you. And I will definitely be back. And don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe. Thank you so much.